Hi guys, welcome back to Trash It. Hope you've been having a good week so far. So on today's episode, we're going to be talking about what's been sort of blowing up on social media for now, and it's about our super cop Abba Kyari, okay, who has now been listed as Hush Puppy's accomplice or person of interest by the FBI. Okay, so super cop where we they manage or Hush Puppy don't turn into Taylor. So this is where we are right now. Okay, so yeah, it's come out recently that Abba Kyari, who is the Inspector General of Police in Nigeria, has been listed as one of the people Hush Puppy was doing business with. And apparently, Abba Kyari has allegedly said that the only business he had with Hush Puppy was to sell Ankara for Hush Puppy. Which is, I know we all have to have a side hustle, but this is incredible. Okay, it's quite funny. But we have Mr. Jagwajantics put up a post recently, and this is basically talking about the link between Abakiari and Hush Puppy and another person that was meant to be working with Hush Puppy. So I'm going to just read it. It's not long. So it's how Abakiari got into Hush Puppy's fraud web. Hush Puppy and partner Abdul Harim Imran Juma fell out with Vincent Kelly Chibuzo, who is a web developer, over a planned scheme to defraud a Qatari of $1.1 million. The plan was going well until Vincent Chibuzo felt cheated and allegedly alerted the victim of the fraud not to deal with Hush Puppy and Juma. So this Chibuzo guy, who is a web developer, who Hush Puppy was going to use to do this fraud, to defraud a Qatarian citizen. When the whole thing went south, so Chibuzo contacted this guy and said, don't do any business with Hush Puppy and Juma guy. So Hush Puppy found that and he was angry. And then he reached out to Abakiari, who he had a friendly chat with months back. And he asked Abakiari to have Chibuzo arrested, tortured, and jailed. Kiari and his team arrested Chibuzo after Hush Puppy sent his phone number and the picture of Chibuzo to the cop on WhatsApp. To confirm his arrest, Kiari sent photographs of Chibuzo in custody to Hush Puppy. Kiari allegedly sent Hush Puppy a Zenith Bank and GTB Bank account details into which about 8 million naira was deposited for Kiari and his boys for capturing Chibuzo. Kiali later reached out to Hush Puppy to ask when Chibuzo should be released because he had now fallen ill in their custody. Hush Puppy then directed Kiari to release Chibuzo at a particular date after the Qatari businessman must have transferred the funds that they were expecting. Hush Puppy also instructed Kiari not to return Chibuzo's phone and laptop when he is released. Kiari is now wanted by the FBI to answer the allegations against him. 3 other co-conspirators, Anifowoshe, Fashola, and Agbabiaka, were also arrested in New York and in New Jersey on July 22nd. They are expected to be arraigned in a court in Los Angeles in August. Now, news information coming out this morning has also said that Hush Puppy Abakiari has been suspended. Okay, so guys, what do you think? Everybody was saying Abakiari was our super cop. He was a decent guy. You know, he was one of the best, if not the best, in the Nigerian police. But unfortunately, he's been roped into this. So, Yori, let me come to you first. What do you think about this whole scenario?
The thing about it, Abakari could have been a super cop, but it's not easy to be a lone man in the Nigerian police force. The Nigerian police force is endemic with corruption. And if you're not a solid person to actually be happy to change the force itself, it's either one or two things. It's either you leave or you fall in line. So Abakiari is corrupt as far as I am concerned. Now, one thing we need to kind of step back a bit is if Hush Puppy had not been greedy and paid Vincent his dues, we will not be where we are. But that is another gist for the other time. The kind of people Abakiari rolls with, he was at Obi Kubana's funeral. He's friends with quite a lot of questionable character. And if you're trying to be the epitome of I want to catch crime, they should not be seeing you around people like that. Mm-hmm. Now, Hush Puppy is like someone that wants to get out of, he's got a get out of jail card. He's negotiating his release with the DA. He's going to sing like a canary because nobody has gone to look for him since he's been there. This is someone that bought a house for in Bauchi or wherever the man is from for over 90 million naira. How much is your salary? The next property to his, he wanted, it's like Oprah situation. He wanted them to move and pay them 70 million. How much are they paying the police? How much? How much is your budget? That you are comfortable enough to spend that much. It's unfortunate that he's allowed to still have his job and not suspend. Well, he's suspended, but it shows the kind of government that will usually would have been fired. For the DA, for FBI to mention his name, they're not lying. They've checked. They've done their due diligence. They know that this is someone of questionable character. You are selling clothes to or selling clothes to Osh Poppy. The last time Osh Poppy wore Ankara was in 2002. Gucci is willing to make Ankara for him. So who are you to want to? All the serious apparels we're talking about, Gucci, Burberry, they are willing to make Ankara if Osh Poppy. So is Abba Kyari that he will now be selling 300? How much did he say? It's 300,000.
So can I just ask Yori though, like what's Abba Kyari's relationship with Ankara? Is that his side hustle or what? I don't understand.
We all have side hustle. Me, I have my own. But you are a comfortable man. By all standard, Ankara should not be your business.
So is that meant to be his side hustle? Was that meant to be?
That's not his side hustle.
Maybe it was meant for a party.
Which party? Look, one thing we know is Osh Poppy has lived his life since he made it on social media. We can his digital footprint. You can go through his pages from the day he became Osh Poppy to the day he was arrested. Not once did Ramoni wear Ankara.
Okay.
So it is what it is. It's just a conniving son of a whatever, without the lack of better word. It's a son of a bitch. Look, he's a corrupt politician and corrupt policeman. He's going down. Now, God help him. I don't know if Nigeria has extraditing rights. If they take him, that is the end of the story.
He said he's going to name everybody else.
Let me tell you.
Hush Puppy.
Speak. So what are we
talking about? Said he's going to name everybody. Look, there's a Yoruba adage that says, if a chicken pours something away, I will scatter everything. This guy is like, look, if I'm going to go down, I will go down with everybody and everybody.
So this is Abba Kyari saying this.
Yes.
So which means he's not as innocent as we thought he was then.
Well, I just said I don't think he
because
is.
A lot of people were saying that, because they know that he's a good police officer, he doesn't take bribes and those kind of things, they want to now soil his image. So that's all bullshit.
No. Look, the thing about it is, Ramani is singing like a canary. If Osh Poppy is being taken, if Abba Kyari is going to be taken to the States, trust and believe he's not going to go alone.
Might as well, isn't it? Mr. Jabudantis, let me come to you. So how do you see this? Abba Kyari, Super Cop, now an Ankara seller.
Everything is transparent. It's obvious. It's out there. It's the same way we see it in Italy, all these big mafians dealing with somebody. They call it on the inside. Somebody on the inside. You would just call them, I need you to deal with someone. It's everywhere. You see, in some places they say the states have some people on the inside who will go and carry out an execution. You just see that, there is a jeep. The people in the truck were all killed. They killed the police officer who was an orderly to the principal. A principal is somebody you're protecting in the security agency business. Like the video we saw recently, where some people were killed, the police officers were killed, and they set the truck on fire. Execution style. That's what they call that kind of assassination. Now, area boys don't know how to do coordinates. They don't know how to do something called reconnaissance tracking, whereby the truck is coming from this area. They have two officers with firearms. We have to come in this way so that if they try to escape, this will only be their possible escape routes, and that's where we're going to get them. All those things is not carried out by area boys. They still use people. They use people on the inside. Now, when you look at Osh Poppy's case, Osh Poppy is a con. He himself doesn't hide it. He flexes. He says this and that. If you're wise enough, you will see it. Now, what kind of relationship will Osh Poppy be having with a top police officer. If he was going to get rid of anybody, you could have given him the job. He will do it the same way. If you're good enough to go and arrest somebody just because he has offended your guy and they're paying you for job delivery, definitely Hush Puppy can as well give you information to go and kill somebody, and you will do it. And you will do it. All you have to do is call the rogue officers in the industry. You know them. It's like being on campus.
The SARS officers.
You know, just call them. Even though they don't have to be discharged, they may still be in service. They will go and carry out that operation. And nobody will know about it. So Hush Puppy already has given us an idea of what the police industry in Nigeria is all about. And there is class to it. The one we're talking about is Abba Kyari. What about during the days of the past IG, the guy that was retired a while ago that died, the one that became Oba of Lagos? All these people, they have history. They have how do I say this? In the system, there is it's like
hierarchy.
being campus, and you have Eye Confraternity, you have Ake, you have Buka. In the police force, they have factions. They have, if you don't belong here, you have to belong there.
Right.
You know, so these things, it's not new. We're only just hearing about these things now because of the internet. It's always been there in the police force. They've used them to do a lot of things, a lot of dodgy things that we may never find out. So Abba Kyari is just the fall man. He's the one taking the fall. That is why he said, if they take him, he's going to start naming the rest. That means he's not in the game alone.
That's
Let me just stop there before I say too much, before me too, I'll become a person of interest.
That's going to be interesting. I cannot wait for him to start to name people.
I beg, please, when you become person of interest, leave me alone.
I don't think it will make it.
Bidemi, we will delete all your videos with trash shit, honestly.
All my WhatsApp is gone.
Ajike, let me come to you. What do you think? Or our super cop is now a tailor. I mean, is it true? Do you believe this? Now, if he's saying he's going to name other people, then which means it's true, isn't it?
I don't know. It just is how will I put it? These people, they're just grasping at straws, and they're going to want to pull down anybody, because the way it is that Hush Puppy has pulled him down. So it is like anybody, I don't know Lenny. So it's now, if there are some top people than him, they should better. It's beginning to tell them that I don't know you. So you better talk to your American people if you can talk to them. That more coming or whatever the case may be. But me, I'm not really following the case, really, honestly, because there are bigger fish to fry in Nigeria other than that. If he did it, they should carry him. That's when I just, it's not really, to me, if you are innocent, go and explain to them. Why we go to Dubai and go and be crazy of country? Why are they sending you 8 million? Why didn't you say Ajike to give 8 million?
Why didn't you carry you by now?
They carry me, me and people, but then I'm telling you, if I come and tell you that I'm telling you, you will believe it.
Yes.
My only issue is that Abba Kyari did not defraud an American citizen or anybody. He committed this crime in Nigeria. Money was sent to him. The people he incarcerated are Nigerians inside Nigeria. I think Nigeria should be the one dealing with him.
Should be the one doing it. But think about it. Left to me. In fact, the other things I said it all. What they should have just done is to handle. But at the same time, that Nigeria, everything we just put it under the carpet. We just find the guy. The next president of Nigeria says, "Can be Abba Kyari." So they know. So I think they're just trying to do it themselves. But whatever the case, if he did it, if you are innocent, it's not hard now. Go there and present your case. But from everything I've seen on the internet, it's just that those things are too long. All the things they are putting online, we read it. I've not finished reading my book. I'll not be reading different things. So I've not read it. But if you are innocent, go and say I'm innocent. I'm selling clothes in total. Bring out all the clothes from Aswan, from Balogun that you are selling, and from the one imported from China. Let's see. It's not hard. All of us have been saying proof. Bring out your ledger. Let's see where everything is. So
Yeah.
So I had
Yuri, you
something.
wanted to say something.
No, I just wanted to touch on what Jagbajansi said. Nigeria has no leverage to try Abakari over proceeds of crime that did not come from Nigeria.
Nigeria,
The
right.
crime and the money was from a Qatari man. And the jurisdiction of the people that would actually fight this case does not sit with Nigeria. The proceeds of crime did not happen. Where the money came from happened outside Nigeria. So they have a right to say, all of them, where spend this money. Come
Right.
and explain yourself. So
Yeah,
really
but
and truly,
wait, so did they pay dollars to Abakari or they transfer money from a Nigerian bank
it
to
does
Nigerian
not
bank?
matter. It's like I
does.
steal money now.
It says he was paid 8 million naira, but we don't know if it's equivalent in naira, you know, because I think at the end of the day,
How much is 8 million naira?
I'm sure it's more than 8 million. You will be in a business of 1.1 million. And Abakiari will know that is $1.1 million. You're not talking about naira. You now want to pay me 8 million to go and arrest somebody.
Because you know, all this bank stuff, there is record, you know.
Yes.
If he was lying, let
me tell you, see, record only happens for poor people or general bloke on the streets, you and I. Record does not happen when it comes to top echelons in Nigeria. Look at all this banditry, all this kidnapping. Are they not paying them money? Some go through banks. Like, look, the only time CBN has been interested in the money coming to Nigeria was when NSAS happened. Within 7 days, they knew where the money was coming from, who the money came in from. We are not interested in making this country work. So people like Abakiari or top people can fly above the rate. We are talking about the IG or police. Who are you to be looking into his account? Ordinary, I want to greet you as IG. I can put money in your account now. Banks are happy that they even have his business.
I suppose there are two parts to this crime. If the Nigerian police force wants to try Abakiari for what he did with arresting Vincent Chibuzo unlawfully, right? Then they can look at that. But with regards, I think what the FBI are interested in is the money that was sent to him, and that money is from the proceeds of the $1.1 million deal that was done. So whether he received that money in naira or in pounds or in dollars, as long as that money came from the proceeds, then the FBI have, I suppose, perhaps the right to ask for him to be extradited back to the United States for him to be tried. So Jude, let me come to you.
He's not giving his family money, because if he's giving his family money, they should be roped in. If he didn't give them out of the money.
Well, the one that they gave the money.
Where I'm coming from, Ajike, thank you.
I understand what he's saying now. Didn't he give his family some money?
Well, I suppose
except that we are talking about large sums of money here, maybe it's more than that 8 million naira.
Maybe 100 million.
It can't be 8 million.
Maybe 100 million naira.
Because that process, they bought other things. They gave other people money.
Business. Now, for you to carry a whole human being,
I'm not defending him. What I'm saying is that everybody that collected out of that money, his mother, his father, his brother, all of them should be on the way to the United States without
including Gucci.
Yes, including Gucci, including all of them. Yes.
Gucci, Versace.
Maybe bought it.
Louis Vuitton.
So the truth of the matter is that this Abakari has, if he can really prove it that he's selling something and he paid for something, he will come out of it. But if he cannot prove it, wow.
I don't think he can prove it. Jude, let me come to you. How do you see all of this?
Well, one thing that's missed from everything we've been saying here is the FBI said is a facilitator. So they're not talking about how much or whether it's peanuts or whether it was given for Ankara. It's a facilitator. And some of you have touched on it on the internet. Rightly, some people on the internet said the FBI don't do half jobs. They do thorough investigation. So what I see in this is, it's not about this. They must have come into contact with a lot of information. The FBI is the FBI. They ain't going to release all of the information out on the internet for people to be arguing back and forth. Those information are on the seal. Until the court says, break the seal, they'll break the seal. I'm pretty sure for them to have used that term, facilitator, is deeper than this so-called money for Ankara. That's why he came out quickly to rebuild, to come as a reporter to say, oh, I only sold Agbada or Ankara for him. And that was very premature of him. He should not have even
said anything.
He said on Facebook, he was the one who brought the Ankara into the business. So he shouldn't have even done that. He should have just kept his mouth shut. Seek a legal advice for it. Because I believe this is deeper than that. He was called a facilitator, so he must have been part of deals. Jagojanti is taught to so many things. That's where my issue is. My issue is not with Hush Puppy or whether this money on FBI. Let me tell you the truth. The FBI don't give a two-bit finger whether Nigerian lives are dead in this issue. They don't care about us. They care about the integrity of their country. I think it's that facilitator for me. He must have been part of so many deals. They've seen information. And like Yori said, he must have sung like a canary bird. And talking about birds, Jagojantis talked about the Supreme Air Corps Proclamity, Ayers, and Buccaneers. Look, the only Super Cup and last Super Cup for me was Nuhu Ribadu. And he's one of the reasons why we have all these problems we have. Him and Obasanjo. Obasanjo started the amnesty for court boys to come out of courtesan. And Ribadu stopped Yahoo boys, chased them to every nook and cranny of the world. I knew a lot of guys who ran to London. Then the ones who were remaining, where did they go end up? The police decided doing recruitment. Look, all the police boys from 1999 in Edo State I know of, they're all secret court boys. And they're still very active in the game. The ones who weren't active, they killed them, straight up. Abakari is deeper than this. Our own issue with the Nigerian side of things, which the FBI, I believe, is not interested in, is how many people Abakari would have killed, lawfully or unlawfully. That's my issue. And the FBI will not discuss that with us. We need to deal with that ourselves. Yeah. And Abakari is just the tip of the iceberg. Any man or woman who comes out and says, if you put me there, I will call crowd. That's already a dying and a losing case. He's got nothing to prove. Because if he had it, he would have displayed it like WikiLeaks. And the other guy, he's not bold enough, he's not man enough, he's not super cop enough, he's a bloody liar, he's a coward. Abakari is a coward, and Abakari will be thrown to the dogs. Bola Ige was assassinated, nothing happened. Who be Abakari want to call people out? Now again, look at the first people who came out to defend him, Chief FFK. He came out to defend him, and Abakari went and posted that whole defend whatever ranting by FFK on the Facebook. One thing I know about FFK is somebody who threatens people. You know who I am, I'll deal with you. FFK did it to his ex-wife, the young girl who left him recently. He said, the woman said, the woman said he called the police and they arrested me and beat me up. This has always been my problem in Nigeria. It needs to stop. I have been on the receiving end of this. My family has been, just because of neighbor to neighbor issue. We've been beaten by soldiers, our homes destroyed by police. Police have arrested us just on the whims and whip of somebody bigger than us. Yeah. That's my issue with Abakari. Whether Abakari is a fraudster, let the international could deal with that. Yeah. Abakari should come out and tell us how many people he's killed. Now, this is my link with him and Obi Kubana. That's why I said I didn't like him when he was there parading himself, because I thought, come on, man, you can be friends to anybody, I don't care. But where's the conflict of interest here? Mm-hmm. How do we deal with that? Have you killed for Obi Kubana as well? That's the question.
Possible.
Who have you killed? Who have you killed for?
So sorry, Jude, I know you've been using the word kill. Did that Vincent guy, did he die in custody?
No, that guy would have died. But again, that's the humanity of Abakari. He then wrote back Hush Puppy. This guy is not well. What do we go do? And Hush Puppy was telling you, wait, and you say thank you. That shows not just a one-off relationship. It shows a boss relationship. Hush Puppy is the boss in that game. Yeah. And that means it's been going on for a long time. And how do they get introduced to each other? I don't think it just got introduced on Instagram. It's things like Jagojanti has been saying. Was he introduced to Hush Puppy by Dino Melayo or Saraki? Who did the introduction? Was it introduced to this guy by Daddy Freeze or
Linda Ikeji? Or
because somebody will introduce you. Africa Jagojanti now and me, if we do some side businesses, and he now understands my business, and he will call me one day and say, do you know Yori does things like this? But I need to put a good word for you. Otherwise, Yori won't talk to you. Then he will put a good word, and Yori will be like, okay, Jude, come on board. That's how. So there must be middlemen. That's why he's saying he will steal the bins. But my issue, man, is deeper than this, because this is what I've been saying. For Nigeria to move better and be better, the police force need to be reorganized. But if we're not able to do that, like Jagojanti said, these things happen everywhere. Texas police, LAPD, they were so corrupt until changes started to happen from inside. The Nigerian police force is a killer squad. That's where Abacha selected his killer squad from now, during the days of killing the people like Rewane and all of them. So they are a killer squad. That's the police for you. And my late brother told me this during the NSAS. He said, bros, I saw everything you were doing online. He said, the reason I didn't get involved is this. He said, I was happy when they brought NSAS in. He said, because NSAS sanitized the Edo State. I said, explain more. He said, my gosh, the killings between Yahoo boys and cultists. He said they were just setting each other up using, this is what they were doing. I know people will get me for this. I have siblings in Edo State. Don't do whatever. The area boys in the police force will go arrest the innocent, not innocent, let me not use the word innocent. Arrest the axemen Yahoo boys, and they will kill them or seize their properties. The axemen in the police force will do the same. The Malfight will do the same. Buccaneers will do the same. My brother said that when the NSAS came, they sanitized that, but they then became corrupt themselves because there was too much money. He said he knew few boys who they'll buy a car today, put it on Instagram, and tomorrow the police will come arrest them. And that car, they will sell it to another boy. They'll respray the car. That tells you there was a link between the police and the underworld. He was always there. You could tell from the pictures later, you could not differentiate who was a Yahoo boy from an NSAS, from a SARS personnel. They dressed the same. SARS personnel were very Gucci. They were very big blinks. I was like, this policeman. So Abakari is, like Jabadati said, has been sitting on top of a rugged and cruel organization, and that's the one I needed to look into. Not just this Hush Puppy. Thank goodness they're using him to sing and let us dance to the tune. It's going to open up a lot of kind of us. But if Abakari try himself, man, you find him dead on the ditch. Couple of days.
He might even be dead before he gets the opportunity to name those names. He might be.
They will just say he killed himself.
Yeah.
They wouldn't even say he killed himself. There's no explanation. We don't have explanation in this country. People die, and there's no explanation.
It's a deep world we're in, man. Nigeria is so brutal and dirty because there's no accountability like the mafia. They could curtail them and check them. Like Yori said, the one man in the Nigerian force can't do much. I met Nuhu Ribadu in person. Let that guy tell you his story, how he was kicked out. You would know we wrestle not against flesh and blood in higher places. Trust me. Nigeria not be chicken play. Not be child play.
I mean, at the end of the day, in the era of social media where a lot of people are just bragging about their wealth and things like that, how is it? Because I know those days people, when you make money or when you buy something, you're keeping it hush hush because you don't want people to know, because you don't want to get burgled, you don't want to get robbed. But these days people are just bragging about it and it seems to be okay and nothing is happening. Is it that they're no longer thieves, kidnappers in Nigeria, NSAS movement, and then
the only thief we have in nobody is carrying these days. I don't know. People are not really carrying gun to go and rob.
The armed robbers have moved to the highway.
It's Yahoo. You just move people's money, swipe people's credit cards and all that. That's the kind of business. So, but the truth of the matter is that it goes to show, just like we're saying, like class and all that. Even if you see money to steal, you even still keep quiet. You won't let people, you're about to say, children, bad, you know, for what budget. If your yam is ready, you cover it. So that everybody will not know what's going on everywhere. You just don't go and start making noise. But I think we have gotten to a stage in this. Maybe it's this social media. Everybody is trying to compete. Everybody wants to know what everybody They're trying to beat even imaginary people. There are some people that nobody is fighting them, but they said they just want to put themselves. It's true. You see some people on Instagram, my enemy. On WhatsApp, they don't let you rest. You're not the wondering. Everything will be.
Who knows you?
Yori, thank you. Who knows you?
Who
does that? So some people are just putting themselves under imaginary high tension. Nobody tension them.
Nobody tension.
They just want to tension. Nobody tension them. They're just tensioning themselves. So I don't know. So some people will, and it's really costing, it's allowing things like all these covetousness. Covetousness is really in fact, it's really, really high. You see children, some people, they will not have money for the school with the children are supposed to, maybe you have money for normal school. No. They must go to Lekki, Corona Lekki, Green Spring Lekki. They will not go and be doing work, give themselves $5. Even less people start from even little things like that. You see people, there are some schools in Lagos that the driver will park there, they will not go. Driver and house girl, they will park in the morning. For money till the child will close.
Why?
Yes. Why? They have money now. You do have money. Yeah, they have money now. That's how they show they have money.
You kill me.
So they just wait for the child to finish from school and then come back.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
They will outside the school. And the car, that child's car, they will be changing it to that child's car. Again, the car is for the child. That child's car again, they'll be changed. They'll put it in. Who is competing with you? Igbo. You understand? So it's this kind of thing that's not causing people to go and be stealing. They'll be putting themselves, just people from children, just from the children. From the children, we are got it to now their own houses. You see people, they want to go and live inside water, inside Lekki with Mami water. They want to go and live inside. If they are not living in Bagada or Magodo, they are not at peace. No, mainland is nonsense. If you are not living in one place in mainland, you must live on the island. You're just giving yourself. If I always say, if you remember this thing, the earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof. Honestly, you will not stress yourself.
You know,
You will not stress yourself. But because people don't understand that simple scripture, they cannot understand. So that's why they want to kill themselves. Man, I'm okay.
You see,
my family.
Ajike is quite right, which is very unfortunate to the kind of situation we have found ourselves as Nigerians. That's why anybody that is in public office now is not willing to do good for the citizen. They just want to steal money.
To steal.
Now, there was a conversation that came up. One of these well-to-do children had a birthday party recently, and every child that attended this birthday went home with a PS5 and personalized banker shirts.
Personalized what?
PS5 jersey. They went with PS5 each child, and they went with personalized Barcelona jerseys. And how much is this child celebrating? It's just 10 years old child. I'm thinking 10 years old. This is a child that I hope doesn't struggle when parents can't get them to fly first class anymore. When
they will struggle.
We are raising children that are not capable of doing well outside of their parents' money. It shows that we have issues. The average, talking about these social media business, an average university even plenty, 12-year-old child is looking to use iPhone 12 Pro Max.
Yes.
There was this child that they said 7 of them gathered all the money that they had to buy PS5 because the child's father is in America. Only for this child to use the money that his friend gathered to go and buy a iPhone 12 Pro for a 12 years old. It tells you that our thinking is malfunctioning.
Honestly, is what? There's recently one of these gifts giving, all those something that will carry banana and come and banana up and down your house, not that 2-year-old. The woman, a boy in a popular rich school in Lagos, I think after school or something, the mother bought the child a car. 10 years old. Yes, so they did banana came to launch the motor.
In the school.
I'm not thinking, maybe in the school, maybe it's outside their compound or whatever. Watch out on social media. Now, what is the use of the car for that child? Even if you can afford it. That was, the English people, you people have a way of explaining wealth. They say the wealthy, the nouveau rich. The nouveau rich people, they are as. They call them nouveau rich. Those people that just got money somehow. They are very ras people. So once you see them like that, because if you cannot be bearing Guinness or Cadbury, and this kind of things will be a big deal to you.
I'll be Coca-Cola.
Those kind of surname cannot be your surname. You're not be thinking like So I just think that some people, just like we are saying, they are in ministry, they've been able to steal money, they gave them contract for road, they just stole the money, they just want to, and this thing, they are just passing on wrong information to these children. These children now, when my brother was in secondary school, I remember there was a boy, they went to pick him with one car. He now told the driver that he told his friends there's one car, they should come and pick him. That driver should go back. In fact, because of that story, when my mom went to Ilorin to visit my brother, she now carried the load on her head and saw my brother. She said that if he did not run to come and meet her with that load on her head, you understand? She actually tested him. She's always telling that story. That is a story she tells often. Because she said when she heard, she was like, how? And that's what's happening today. Children, completing their parents, they don't even get their head go. So how are they going to manage that wealth that you are leaving behind for another generation? They can't manage it. That's why company in Nigeria is dying. Why so do Wale tires today? See companies, see the guns, see all of them, there is not working. Because why? You did not train, they are not training the next generation to pick up. You are just giving them money and just because yourself, you did not work for the money. Because if you work for that money, ask my son here. Let's say, if he does not, the way I'll be shouting, the money I'm supposed to be using to buy wig, the money I'm supposed to be using to buy bag, you have not done if you don't go and do the assignments for me, what did any bit of wine? But well, you're not, we have to pass it on, and it has gone down. So I don't know the generation that will help Nigeria forward.
Yeah, it's sad really when you hear all these things and you just I know on the show I was an advocate that things can change in Nigeria. I was an advocate in saying that no, I believe when the youth come in, I know Jude, me and you, we've had this conversation before and on the show, and I said no, when the youths come in, they're gonna make things different. They're gonna do it. But now I think I've reconciled to the fact that
youth are the problem.
Yeah,
that problem.
The thinking, the way we think, the way we. Now, I'm not saying everyone, but if you look at the majority of those that we call the youth. The governor of Kogi State is a youth. Is the most, if there's any word, most worst. If there's any word like that, most worst governor.
Yourself.
I know it's from it's the governor of your state. Very useless human being.
Milayetu is from there, isn't it? From
He's even
representing my distinct Kaba.
Can you imagine? The governor of Kogi State, case in example, is a youth. He has not put anything in place to even signify that you actually.
You know what? I think you see there is this thing they say: the monsters you made are now what we're seeing. The old ones and the young ones. The young ones are the result of the old ones. Everything is like a chain reaction. There is a connection. You know, it is what they have paved for us. That's the path we're leading. The youths are not just like that. It didn't happen like an accident.
Yes, now there's no integrity.
For every action, there's a reaction. They didn't know that all those things that they were doing, they were actually inventing monsters. And that is why we have all these youths acting like monsters today. They can kill. They can actually kill.
But can't, Mr. Jabodani, can't the youth see the mistakes that were made by the people before them and say, I don't want to make that same mistake?
It doesn't work like that. That is why
they can't see.
Look,
that is why somebody like Buhari will be there and the children cannot tell him that, Daddy, this thing is not right. Don't you think we should do like this? They will not. No, they will not. And you will see these daughters on social media and the whole of Nigeria are like, oh, you're my role
give
model.
You advice, marital advice. They're advising us on marriage now.
You know, the children of the bad politicians are on social media being celebrated by the youth.
Yeah.
And these children cannot tell their dad, but this is not right. You sent me to London to study the best schools.
Yeah.
I study in economics. This is how things are to be done. But Dad, these things you're showing online that everybody is posting, it doesn't put me, your child, in a good light in the society. You know, they can't tell their dad, did you want to jump on the bandwagon and flex? Do you get? And if I say these things, some of my friends will be offended because it's the truth, but not everybody wants to hear the truth. I have friends who will tell me, Aki, you know what? Shororo Nigerian, let it be like that, or we like it like that. Don't worry. Let us chop our own chop. These are people who study in London. You know, some of them grew up in London, secondary school, college, higher institution, before going back to Nigeria to hustle. And you see these private schools in London, all these children of politicians being friends from there. It's about connection. When you see people who don't really have so much, sending their children to private school in London, just so they too can be in the same class with the children.
That was what Kate Middleton's family too did. There's no offense in that.
Exactly. So wait, I will get there now. You will get my point. Now you see those children when they get back to Nigeria and see the child of governor of Osho State in so class in Nigeria doing well. You see those friends from private school, all of them too, they have that link opportunity for business. Yeah. And because they're making money, they're not going to tell their parents the truth. That's why you see somebody like Seyi Tinubu flexing in Lagos. Biggest boy. He's in charge of all the outdoor media publicity, that business.
Having two sons and all this stuff.
It is not because of the degree he studied. It is not because he did some interview, they gave him the job. It is because the father is the one who is calling shots.
Exactly.
You get. So it is not something that he got by qualification or
not on merit.
Not on merit. That's the English I was looking for. You know, and some people were already in the business. Where are those people today? If you dare talk, who born you? Or first sorrow, or to first disappear near. You know, so that is what I'm talking about.
The thing about it, Celia, is that those that are in power do not want Nigeria to work. It does not pay
But
them
why don't
to
they
work.
though? Why? Why do
Wait,
they not
let me
want
tell you.
Nigeria?
Okay, for instance, now we know allegedly Atiku is the one that brings Mikano to Nigeria. Please, so if there's consistent electric supply in Nigeria, will Mikano sell? The answer is no.
Yeah.
So it does not pay them for the electric sector, the power sector to be successful.
Wow.
There's some people that are enjoying on areas where there's failures
Mhm.
in Nigeria. Are you trying to tell me that it's only Dangote that sells
Cement.
that can sell cement in
Mhm.
Nigeria? The answer is no. We are now investing in Dangote's refinery. Can you see the stupidity in this business? Nigeria as a whole is investing in Dangote's private business so that we can make return on investments. What happens to the refineries that we have everywhere? Can
It's
they
like
not?
this government
It
investing
does
in
not
Virgin.
pay people in government, people that are sitting on the wealth of Nigeria, for Nigeria to work. It does not pay them. And you're talking about speaking to your father. How can you speak to your father when you know that the money that you can make on your own, you can't make it without your father? That's what, sorry that I'm coming to you, Ajike. You have some questionable people in that your state. Smart Adeyemi's daughters. Kushe, Smart Adeyemi's daughters. See the way they spend money.
I don't
Look
know
at
them.
Dino.
Myself.
And who is smart Adeyemi? Is he the governor?
No, it's this. The funny thing about your state is that it's as if Smart Adeyemi goes there. He's a Senate rep, goes there, spends 8 years, get tired, gives it over to Dino. Dino goes there.
Yeah,
spends
Dino.
another 8 years.
I think it's only the two of them.
It's
there.
only the two of them in the whole state. So Smart does it for 8 years,
I don't
gets
want to die
tired,
now, so I cannot
and
go
then
and
Dino
fight
takes
them.
it over
There's one
and
woman
does it
that
for
fought-
another 8
there's
years,
one woman that
and
was
Smart
trying
now
to
goes back.
challenge them.
Have you looked at Dubai? It is the same thing we have that they have.
You know,
Those are people who have the
just
interest of their
yesterday.
citizens.
Just
But the
yesterday.
thing is, sorry, Yuri, we are not saying that the people in government shouldn't eat, because we'll be deluding ourselves if we said that, right? But eat with caution, yeah? Eat and still do, so that people will say, okay, yes, they embezzle, but they're still doing, and they're building schools, they're building hospitals, make it, balance it out a bit, not just the whole greed where you fatten yourselves, fatten your family, your children have the best education, they have houses abroad, their healthcare is not even in the country, and yet the people in the country are dying because of just maybe simple blood transfusion or simple delivery, and you don't even have their blood group available ready for them in case they have a cesarean. It's just little things like that, that just makes it. I wanted to go to Nigeria just for a few weeks, just to holiday, right? But then I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, first of all, I'm from Edo State, so my parents are in Benin, so I have to go to Benin to go and see them. So when I get to Lagos or Abuja, depending on where I fly into, I now have to get a flight to Benin. So I'm thinking to myself, God help me if anything should happen to me on the flight from Lagos or Abuja to Benin. Do you understand? And then you get to Benin, and then you just look at how things are. Things are no longer the way they were before. Do you understand?
Before
and then
you
I'm
go
thinking,
have ransom money,
do you understand? And I'm thinking, okay, let me just go to Port Harcourt, stay with my sister, and ask my parents to come to Port Harcourt. And then my parents are going to be like, hey, are you well? Are you all right? You better come to Benin. In the end, I just said, no, I'm not going. Let me just stay in London and look for one cottage outside of London to go and chill. Do you understand? It's really, they've made it really difficult for those in diaspora to come home, to invest in anything at home. Because we know that when you do that, it's not going to work.
It's not that the government alone. We as human beings, Nigerians, Nigeria to Nigeria, we are just wicked human beings.
Mm-hmm.
Nigeria to Nigeria, forget government for 2 seconds now. Nigeria to Nigeria, you will ask someone to build you a property. This is a laborer or a bricklayer or something that they sell for 5,000 naira. They will come and say, Madam, it's 5,000 naira. Mm-hmm. Is that the government?
Yes,
that's not the government. I'm just talking man to man. We have a problem. A black, and this is not just to Nigerians. I don't know what's wrong with us as black race. There's something, I don't know, we need to go back and retrace ourselves as in, I don't know, something is...
You speak like me, eh?
I think there's something wrong with our genetics, our DNA. Black person, they don't want their next person to up them, or they just want to just take, and be like, why? You don't need to do that. My parents' streets, On my parents' before, when you get on it's my parents' roof that you will know that, okay, this is our space. When I went back, some house has towered up.
Mhm.
I'm thinking, whose house is it? This guy, they call him paymaster, is a level 10 officer. Essentially, what he does is you go to him, give him your file, his file passes, your file as a contractor passes through him to get to the commissioner.
Wow.
That's his job. Now, file carrier. This guy has built a monstrous building on my street. He has now installed solar energy that I'm thinking radiation will kill everybody in their household. And if you see this guy, it's just like that. I'm thinking, why? It shows how poor you are of a person. Why do you think you need? And this is from proceeds of still. I have contracts. I can't get straight money unless I give you 10%. So that's why they have
shoddy
jobs.
Build house and the whole house is looking like the whole street is afraid that you are building house.
So if I'm going to give you 10% of my contract, how am I going to build you good roads?
You're right, and that brings me up. Jude, I don't know if you saw that video, but my husband showed it to me on Facebook of last week, and I think it was in Ughelli in Edo State, right, where they've given the contractors the contract to put some gutters in an area, right? And what they literally did, normally when you're doing a contract like that, you will see the tractors and things like that, that makes you think, okay, yeah, these people know what they're doing. But basically, this guy did a video and he said he's a youth in the community and he's just walking past and he sees them constructing these gutters. And what they're literally doing is they're digging holes in the ground, and you can call those holes a very narrow swimming pool, and they've dug the holes on the ground, straight or whatever, along the place they want to put the gutters. And what they've done is they've mixed the cement and the sand. They're plastering it left and right. They're plastering all the sides and then they're plastering the middle, right? And they literally didn't do anything else to reinforce those gutters, right? So if it rains, and there was no drainage as well, there was no proper drainage that we could see. So if it rains, the water is going to become stagnant in that place, breeding mosquitoes and all sorts of things. And that's why I called it a swimming pool, basically, because there was no outflow of the water.
Collapse in.
Do you understand? And then this guy and the people that were doing the work, it was just normal people in the community. Yes, it's job for the people in the community, but do they have the training to do that? No, they do not. It was just women, men that don't know that don't have the training to be able to deliver that kind of job, carrying cement on their head, pouring it inside the gutter and just spreading it out and plastering it. And then they also were doing the roads as well, and the roads was just it was a disgrace. And the guy was able to just pull the road off the ground with his bare hands and said this is a contract that they've given to someone, and yet it hasn't been executed properly.
They're giving them master money, so there's no money to do road.
It's just sad that Nigeria, I don't think there's any way forward. If there is a way forward, I'll be happy for it to happen. But on going back to the Abakari case, I know Davido fired one of his workers, Israel, because of the post he put out about Abakari, saying, oh, Abakari is a good guy and blah blah blah, they should leave him alone and all of that.
Davido.
Yeah, Davido, Israel.
He's that particular guy that's supposed to have sacked him since. He's one that to abuse copy.
Yeah,
he's
he's
always running.
Yeah, he's always running his mouth.
Yeah, he was the one that got drunk at Obi Kubana's event as
Oh,
well.
did he?
Yeah, he got drunk and pissed on himself.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, yeah. So I think Davido don't need to associate himself with people like that. So he sacked him, and he's no longer working for this.
I don't know why people are always very quick to speak.
But having said that, though, what they say, I like the drastic actions that he takes. It looks like after he stopped smoking for a while, he's sober enough. He takes some fantastic decisions as a young man.
Yeah.
Or he's culpable in the whole system. If you remember the NSAS, he came out, I was with the people, and then he ended up in the meeting with the past IG. If you saw that meeting, it became like a small rat. When the IG called him on first name basis, he said, I wasn't there to do this. I was there to able to pipe down. Davido changed the story immediately. And the reason for this, again, goes back to what Jaguar Jantis was trying to say. Look, if I became the president today, there's no way you tell me my parties can be somewhere, because not everybody's my enemy. I have friends. I'll first of all go to them. When my brother was saying Buhari is a thief, they're employing cronies, I said, for Christ's sake. Buhari, first of all, if he was 70 years old, you are 36. Tell me what chances you would have met each other. Nowhere. So this guy would have gone to school with the guys he's employing now. And the common balance in our society in Nigeria, oh boy, if I get there, all of us go chop. Is that not what we say? We all say this.
But Jude, in saying that though, if you got to that position of power and you gave contracts to your friend, you would hope that they would execute the contract.
That's what I'm coming to. So if I said, Jagojantis, man, when I get to that office, we go chop. I've given people jobs where I work. I tell them this vacancy, call so and so manager. That's the same insider information. I haven't gone to him and said they pay you, give me something that becomes corrupt. So we have the tendency to be greater and better. So if Buhari had employed his own cronies from school, people he knew from secondary school, nursery school, whatever, because age made great, then the systems need to be accountable. It's no longer Buhari's business. So if a contract is being given to somebody and they don't do it, there should be checks and balances in those systems. Yes. Buhari shouldn't be the one going to Ministry of Works and Housing to check every file again. There are systems. Nigeria have all of these systems because we resemble or pretend to resemble the British system when it comes to those checks and balances. From the colonial days, they're still there. It's the same thing with the Kiari. There are checks and balances. Who does all of these checks and balances? So Kiari can be friend to Davido's father. And I don't expect if Davido slapped me on the street, now Kiari would arrest him. No, Davido can even still call, and all of them do this. The fact that we don't check those little SXs is why we're where we are. Davido is going to Abuja. They say, oh, he closed down, he shut down Abuja. Police are shooting guns, mobile police are running everywhere. These are state agents. Why are they following Davido like they are his lapdogs? None of us query these things. Now somebody's doing burial, they carry 50 policemen shooting guns. Nobody
look at them doing like SWATs, carrying several
around. Who is Fino? Who is Techno to have mobile police everywhere? These are state agents. Rick Ross and what's his name, Jay-Z, if they want state police, they pay for it. One time, my charity here wanted to do something on the streets. I had my big mouth. I said we should get police. We went to Metropolitan. When they gave us the quotation, Jesus Christ. Metropolitan police said you are better off going through the Thames barrier. Then you won't have issues with the public. I was shocked. I thought it was free or cheap. When they gave us the price, it will buy our charity like 20 million years from now. Exactly. I don't have issues with police doing these things, but they should pay out of their nose. But it's not happening. You have Techno at one. Look, Obi Kubana have mobile police pushing people with guns. How many people queried this? Did the police IG see that as anything wrong? No.
Was there.
Dino Melaye of all people, who has no portfolio, is walking and the policeman is opening your front door. Who queries that? No, because they want to be like that. What position has Tinubu got for Tinubu to have all of this, more than 50 soldiers running after you? No, we shouldn't have this in the society. That's why we have Abakari who calls himself, look, this Abakari guy, I've never respected him as a Super Cup. I knew he was a killer. That's why they gave him Super Cup. Jagojantis, you will know what I'm talking about. For you to become a Super Cup, you the ones where they key people for the town. Right. You're the go-to guy. Yes,
it's the same way Oluomo became.
Yeah,
it's that's it. You have to be favoring somebody to, you know.
The thing about it is that he knows how to eliminate forces.
Simple.
If you are a stain on their white clothes, he would eliminate you. And see, one thing about him is that he needs to be mindful himself, because you live by the sword, you die by the sword. The moment he starts singing and saying, I'm bringing people down, he won't even mention the first name before he goes down himself. And if they are as callous as I know some people in the Nigerian police force are, it will be him, his wife, his student. They'll just do night execution. If you can remember, there was this, it was a political aspirant in Ekiti State at that time that they were grooming to be the governor of.
Is it Daramola or Jikwadina? One of them. It's
Daramola. That one.
Daramola.
You know what they did the day they killed this guy? Apparently, allegedly, 50 mopos descended on his house at 11 p.m. And despite everything that guy said, they were like, no, they've paid for you.
Yeah.
You are going to die. And they killed him.
They killed him.
50
Simple.
mobile police officers. Till today, has anybody opened case?
That is somebody who came from abroad to help his state.
Yes, the guy had a portfolio in Abuja. Yeah. It was alleged then that Fayose invited him over for a meeting for them to discuss how they're going to amicably handle.
Who is this person you're talking about? Sorry, because I didn't.
Daramola. He's late now. He was the director of something
He
petroleum
was
or
going to
portfolio
contest as
something.
a governor in Ekiti
He was
State.
going to contest,
Right.
and he had the potential of winning.
Yeah,
He was
yeah,
living
yeah.
in the United Kingdom. He was living abroad, and he came and allegedly made everyone not come carry me. Fayose was reported to have invited him over and said, "Oh, we need to have a conversation so that we can talk about handing power amicably." Blah 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 blah. 11 p.m. The guy came in. He went to have dinner with the king of his town, and the guy goes, "Why are you here?" He said, "Oh, His Excellency invited me over allegedly," and it was like, no one knows about this party. They rang calls, blah blah blah. Are you aware that the governor wants to meet with them? No one knew about any meeting. The guy went to 11 p.m. Blah, 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 blah. They killed this guy. Till today, there were some people that were arrested, but
Yeah.
nothing has happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
Depot dinner was the same. It was at the same time they killed him in Ogun State.
So,
If this Chibuzo boy, you see, I talk mostly about people not praying and that. I don't believe in all of those things to move the country forward. But then again, when situations like this happen, I then see why people go to prayers, because it's the last bastion of hope.
Yeah.
And this Chibuzo guy is a clear example. When they arrested him, when Kyari and his boys arrested him, he didn't know why they arrested him up till maybe the news came out now. He didn't know why they arrested him. Kyari never told him. And then Hush Puppy said, because his girlfriend went back to Hush Puppy to say, "They don't arrest my guy, help us with money." So Hush Puppy had a conversation with Kyari. Also, this guy don't know what he's doing good like that. Let it be like that. So that kind of person will put his trust and hope on God and say, "I don't know what is happening to me." I'm not saying he's innocent because he's a fraudster as well.
Yeah.
I don't know what is happening to me. I put my hope on you. This is why you will see majority of Nigerians will go back to that, because majority of the times they don't know what has happened to them. They don't know it's just somebody who hates their guts.
That's
just
made
call
a phone
Kyari
call.
or the type of Kyari and say, "Can you handle that boy?" When I reported my brother's case, my late brother's case in Nigeria, 2 police officers called his wife and said they wanted her to come to CID, blah, 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 in Lagos. I told her not to go. I said, just send her your money.
Lagos.
Yeah, and I called, she gave me those numbers. I called one of them. The other one they never picked. I said, if you want to talk to anybody, talk to me. I'm the one making the allegations. I said, this day and age, you should be doing Zoom calls, not asking a woman who's just lost her husband like 3 days
Travel.
to come to Lagos. The reason for that is, they said, if you're coming, come with a family member. Because obviously they wanted to detain her immediately, because these same doctors from Luth would have the clout. They have friends, they are relatives who they said, deal with the people for us. So I said, ignore those people. It's a shame that we're trying to make a better society for ourselves, but majority of Nigerians don't see it. I'm talking about the insults we received and every that. But people think I really care. It's about me. It's not about us, because I can live my life here. I can move from here to Canada. I don't have any restrictions. Thank goodness. I can go to Japan and leave. I can go to Tokyo and leave. I can do anything I want to do. They can't even leave Ijebu Ode to go to a war, come to Benin, and they're the ones cussing, and they're the ones suffering.
They will carry
so I
you.
laugh at them. I laugh at all of them. Like, look at you, we're fighting for a better country. But that's exactly what it is. So society like that, where you have everybody you've described, where people don't throw caution to the wind, they buy cars here and there. What do you expect? You expect Kyari to feed his family on what? On 70,000 naira? No, when the man is carrying back for, he's stealing government money here and there. So you can see why we created the monsters like Kyari. Kyari is just one, and maybe we expose them. Who knows? But
I hope he does, and I hope he lives long enough to do that. I mean, I hope he does, because I really want to know who else is on that list. I know people.
I love the way you wish, but they would not let it happen. There's so many heads that will roll. It may even affect Nigeria.
Where is he now? Where is Abba Kyari?
He's in Abuja.
Or is in his house? Is he under house arrest?
He's been suspended.
But look, another thing. When we talk about Abba Kyari, like what I said is the real issue here for me. They do not. Correct me, Ajike, or anyone who is familiar with this story. Is it the Dunamis pastor who used his connections with the DSS to arrest some protesters recently in his church? Was it the Dunamis guy? The pastor did it in Abuja. Just some week ago. Sahara reporters. Omoyole Showore has been broadcasting the news because they were his friends. So these are his church members. One of them is actually a blind guy. I think he's a blind trumpet player or drummer. Now, these are the kind of things we talk about. Now, this is a pastor who's then uses connections in DSS. That's our state security service to arrest people. These people are being brutalized, and this has been going on for long. I remember when I used to talk about pastors. A top socialite, his father is a retired general from Ekiti State. He called me, my friend. He said, "Guy, be careful the way you talk." He said, "I know these pastors. They have top goons." That's the language he used. They will kill you and nothing will happen. He said, "They have squad. I know them." I know the guys they use. He was talking about top pastors in Nigeria. So all of this has been going on. It's not the first time for a pastor to call DSS and say, arrest the people. I've said it before, no one has the power to say arrest. No one has the right. Even the president of Nigeria don't have the right to say arrest Jude. If the police knew or suspects a crime has happened or occurred, invite me, do your just duty. For me to say,
you are talking about pastors. You don't even need pastor. Ordinary you. All you have to do is go to A division and give them 1 carton of Gouda. They will arrest everybody on your street.
On your street.
On your street. You're talking about pastor.
100,000 naira is too
Gouda.
much.
Go to A division and say, please, who has time here? I need you to arrest my street. How can we help?
Who has time here?
What you're saying is very true.
It's true. It's true. Yeah,
who has time here?
They have weaponized poverty so much that the salary of the police officer is no longer useful. So they now look out for handouts from people like you and I. You can just, okay, I was at the airport. We landed in Nigeria. 2 days later, one of our other friends from Atlanta was landing. So we drove to the airport. In the middle of that space between that, there's a roundabout before you climb the ramp. You know that ramp that takes you to arrival? Yeah. So there were these henchmen, Air Force guys with some para pistol and machine guns there. And they stopped us, hold on there, who you be, who be you? So we held it. And as we were talking, they were like, oh, these guys don't look like they're from here. And we spoke to them, shook hands. Before you knew it, we were laughing, gisting. They said, okay, pack your own motor here. You see all those ones, they're not about them, Papa. That your friend. This officer go follow them, go. They go bring and come. Park here, where nobody was allowed to park. So we didn't want to argue too much because what we wanted to do was the normal thing. Drive to the departure, to the arrival, pick up our friend and drive off. Easy. That's the normal thing. But they won't let us go. And me, I was scared of guns. Even though I have worked with guns, doesn't mean, when you're talking to a Niger person, and they were smoking, so we had to give them money. Before you know it, our friend was out. They came to meet us under that tree area. And we were taking pictures, selfies, just to make it look like we're comfortable. And we gave them money. And the guy was like, Oga, if anybody, just ring me. He gave me phone number. If you want to arrest anybody, you want to go and discipline anybody, Oga, just see me. Oga, oh, you did talk too much. Oga, forget. Just take this number. And that's how it works.
Yeah.
The salary is not enough. If you look at their barracks, it is like a slaughter slab. The toilets are bad.
They shouldn't have a barrack.
And they have children going to army children's school or one local primary school. These are going to come out of that primary school and join the society. They are already growing up inside suffering, inside poverty. Now, how do we want those kids to turn out? Their father is already depending on handouts. And they're ready to torture anybody else just to collect that money from you. When they get home, they will carry a shovel, drink kai, put small on the table, buy fish, or cook soup. And they do the same. The process repeats itself, and the process goes on and on and on. Have you seen their barracks?
Yeah,
barracks is
I think we saw
pay for their uniform.
Yeah, I think we saw a bit of their barracks during the NSAS protest, and it was such in a dilapidated
state. And these are the
state.
same people we're fighting for, so that their value can change.
Improve,
they can be relevant in the society. They pay for their kits. If they don't pay, they're not going to get the right kits. They pay for their boots, for their uniform. Can you imagine a police officer in Elephant and Castle or Uppington, Kent, out of his money, be paying to collect his uniform?
No, not possible. Anyway, honestly, if we stay, maybe we need to do another topic on the Nigerian police force, honestly, because if we can continue this conversation for another 48,
you need to think about it.
For another 48 hours. I mean, just before we round up, it's sad that everything is happening this way, and I guess Hush Puppy if he's going to go down, he's going to pull as many people as possible to go
I
down
don't
with
blame
him.
him.
And he's named one name. And if Abakari is going to go down, he too is going to want to pull as many more people to come with him as possible. I know that the Freeze is already arranging his own statement. He's preparing his statement. And I'm sure he must have instructed his lawyers and has evidence, so in case he's called upon, because he did a video on that. I think we're going to close it, and I just hope that Nigeria is a country that is able to come out and rise above. I thought I would be able to see it in our own generation, but I think I've lost a bit of hope on that. I don't think we would see that in our generation. Maybe our children or our children's children. I just want Nigeria to get to that place again where they're respected outside of the country, because I saw the things that went on in the recent Olympics, how we were so disrespected by the umpires and by the other. It was just a shame. And at this point, I think my heart really bleeds for Nigeria, and I just hope that we are able to get to that place again where we command respect and where our citizens in diaspora are not stereotyped because we say we are from Nigeria, Anyway, on that note, we're going to end it, guys. Don't forget, we're on Pop Central, DSTV channel 189 every Sunday evening at 9 o'clock. And if you don't have DSTV, you can download the Popping by Pop Central app and you can join us every Sunday evening at 9 o'clock. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. See you next week, Saturday.
Thank you very much.
Bye.